Hane Goshi springing hip throw is a shin waza, a new waza. I haven't seen it in any of the jiu-jitsu drawings or anything like that. The story goes that the Yamashita busted his knee, and his favorite throw was uchimata. And because his knee was like this, he couldn't take it and sweep it back and straighten the knee like you need to do on uchimata. He created Hane Goshi using the hip, but the leg still sweeps back. Hane meaning springing, Goshi meaning hip. So if we understand that, the throw is not the leg, but it's the hip, and the leg assists it back, whereas in Uchimata, the leg is actually throwing the body. When you come here and you're turning him, you see all this torque that you have right here? There's your spring right there. If you just come in here like this, there is no torque, there is no spring. Now you're relying on a great deal of upper body strength to do that. The waza is the strength. Look at Kashiwazaki, for example, Okano, Nakatani, Jimmy Bregman. They don't have a lot of strength, but they have a lot of technique. That's what you want to go for. Every time you try to lift someone, you lose a bit of the technique and you replace it with trying to power it. You don't want to power it, you want to technique it. So waza judo is very important.
Turning your head helps turn your body. Now the kuzushi is like wiping your nose this way here. Okay? Good. Comes right across the front of your nose. Tsuriten is like a tsurikomi goshi. It's going to lift up, and then this forearm is going to turn the shoulder. What we want to do is we want to take this one shallow, and we want to take this one deep, like that. And so we're in a tsurikomi position. So it's shallow, so you're going to be in front, and then this foot, left foot, is going to come back here like that. Now you see that? So this is in preparation for this move. If you come in here like this, okay, this move here doesn't have as much energy to go back. If you're going way up here like this, okay, it's not doing anything. It has no power to push back. You want to get it here, and what you're going to do is you're going to spring. That's why it's called hane. Push that leg back. You cannot push the leg back if you're way up here, but you can here. You see the side of my calf is now on the inside of his knee. That's where you want it to be. So you notice that my knee is at a 45-degree angle, roughly. You don't want it at a 90 like this. This sweeps back, just like uchimata, except if the leg doesn't straighten, it stays bent like that, like a spring. A lot of people say, oh, this is a springing leg throw. No, it's not the leg that throws, it's the hip that throws. So it's a koshiwaza. You see how he's loaded on my hip, and then I lift him up onto my hip. This leg then is an assistant. Not like uchimata, which is a ashiwaza, where the leg is actually doing the throwing. The hip is lifting, and the hane, the spring, is to spring and push that leg back so it's more momentum. Harai goshi, the hip is here. This leg, it assists raising the hip. Just the different, one on the inside, one on the outside.
I'll show you now Sotai Denshu as a uke. So I'm going to spread my feet a little wider. When he comes in, I'm just going to lean over, and I'm going to help him. If his elbow pops up like this, okay, now I know, okay, what I got to do is that when he comes in, I got to put my arm up here so that it pushes his elbow down, but I'm not doing it hard. Teach his elbow to stay down. If he does the kubinage grip, I'll come here and make sure by pushing that he keeps his elbow down. If his hip is not all the way in, but it's here, I'm going to adjust and push his hip over. See what I did? I push, I adjust, so then that helps him understand the importance of getting the hip over. This is where the uke plays an extraordinary role in helping the tori become successful in the technique. That's being a really good uke. You're there to help him. So that's jita kyoe, mutual welfare and benefit. As a uke, I'm not just receiving it. Remember what I always say. I'm thinking, always thinking. If he's coming in, at one point could I step? At one point, should I bring my forearm down to block him? At what point should I do this? At what point can I be able to come in and do the kaishiwaza? I'm always thinking.
The kyono method, the fundamental way of doing it is to come here and then push this back. And then later on, you could do like Takada Sensei, my teacher for a long time in Japan and here. And he actually lived with us in Tucson for about 6 months. And he's known as Mr. Hane Goshi in the history of judo. He can do Hane Goshi 360 degrees. Takada Katsuyoshi, wonderful man.
As he's moving this foot back to step, that's when you want to attack. Pow here, and then come in. You have to be fast to do that. That's what Takada Sensei used to do sometimes.